Hello, welcome to Because You Watched. My name is Ali Ghandour.
I'm Hillary Ann Matthews.
And Rekha Shankar, we noticed you've made some changes. Just kidding. It's our guest, Ryan Rosenberg, today, folks.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Happy to be here.
That's more of a visual joke, so watch us on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that
gotta
one-
check it out. I'm psyched to be here talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is television.
Hell yeah. What have you been watching? What have we been watching?
What have we been watching? I feel like I watch a little bit of everything right now because everything is sort of confusing to find. But,
That's why we're here.
Yes. Just watched The Mortician, which has been fun.
Perfect.
I'm kind of always going back and watching MacGruber over and over.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
you
that's
were
my
like
favorite.
just recently talking up MacGruber to me.
I am
You had-
constantly obsessed and it doesn't go away.
It was great. As someone whose comedic opinion I highly respect, it like made me sad that I was like, no, I haven't seen MacGruber yet. And it was one of those where it was like I could feel that you were sad that I hadn't watched it yet.
Yeah. I'm jealous that you still have the first viewing in front of you. Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, that makes sense. It was kind of like a wistful, like, youth feeling.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you were sad because you can now watch
there's
it
there's a
easily.
certain tragedy about like knowing that I could have had this bond in that moment, participating in this convo with my brother
Wow.
on how good MacGruber is and how funny it is.
MacGruber brother bond.
Yeah. So Mortician, we all watched Mortician.
Yeah.
We all watched the first episode of Mortician.
Is it okay, Ryan? Do I have your consent to read your text message? out
Yes,
loud
of
to me?
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we were inviting Rosenberg to do this with us, I said, by the way, we're going to try to watch The Mortician episode 1. And his response was, I've been avoiding The Mortician out of disinterest. So this will be a good excuse to dive in.
That's great.
Okay. And
Yeah.
by that time, I think I had watched like half of the first episode. And so then when I went back, I was watching it through your eyes, somebody who had been disinterested to get into it. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of dragging. I was like going to text you and be like, hey, and if you don't finish it, that's totally fine. You don't need to force yourself to finish this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting question. Can you speak on the disinterest? Like,
Yeah,
can you?
totally.
Was there a
the,
piece
like,
of it?
Just the vibe. It felt so like demure and sad, and like
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to sign up for like homework. It felt like watching like
Yeah.
a school, like something you'd watch in school or something.
Right.
But then as soon as I tuned in, I was pretty fascinated, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I was wrong.
Cool.
I can be wrong often.
So I first heard about this in the context of like a Deadline article that said that The Mortician is HBO's most watched doc in 5 years.
It's really hard to find information on like what that was dethroning, because you immediately go, oh, in 5 years, like what was
The Jinx,
thing
maybe? That's
before
that was
5
my
years?
first thought.
The Jinx season 1 is like more like 10 years ago or something like that.
I
Season
wanna-
2 was within the past 5 years. It was like last year or something.
What was the Scientology one? Going Clear?
Ooh, Going Clear.
Ooh,
yeah.
Here comes Matt Walsh trying to get us to talk about Scientology.
Look, I want to work in this town too. Change the subject.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And we can always edit that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think what the 5-year mark was, when I looked into it, the
Yeah.
best answer I could find was Chimp Crazy.
But also Tiger King. Wasn't that within 5 years?
I think
That was-
Is that
so
Netflix?
Chimp Crazy was
Oh, that was
yeah, yeah.
Netflix.
So that's why they don't count it.
That's why they don't count it.
That's why HBO doesn't count it as the #1 watch documentary.
Oh, we didn't make a dime.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it was Chimp Crazy, which has a Tiger King relation to it. I think it's the same person who, same chimp was in both, I believe.
Oh,
Got
that's
it. Got it.
There's some connection there.
I knew he looked familiar. But what was the other? It was Chimp Crazy. It was Love Has Won, The Cult of Mother God. Are you familiar?
Oh,
that's
yeah. Is that where the
one,
lady
yeah.
turned silver? Yes. Yeah, that was a pretty
Blue.
interesting one.
Silvery blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Like
Why?
in quick succession.
Why did you watch it again?
I don't know. Sometimes when I really like something, I go through withdrawal and I'm like nothing else to do but dive right back in.
What was the cult one with the guy named Keith, who was the leader?
Keith Raniere.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Nexium.
Matt.
Was that a hit?
Nexium.
My wife ate that up.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
that
really
was
good one.
fucked.
I
The
think that-
Vow? Is that what
The
it was
Vow.
called?
Yeah,
The Vow.
totally.
I love that show. I watched both seasons of that. It was
Me
incredible.
too. I never got to execute my Halloween costume idea from that, which was for me to be Keith Raniere playing volleyball and to be like
Yeah,
with
of course.
the headband, volleyball under my arm, like little jersey, and then kind of like like reaching up, standing on my tiptoes to kiss people on the cheek or lips for like the whole Halloween night. That was my, because that's what he was doing.
You should still do it.
I know,
every year.
evergreen. You think it kind of?
Yeah, I gotta say, Hillary is the best at coming up with quote unquote evergreen Halloween costumes, because we'll be watching TV, we'll be watching a movie from like 97 or something, and then there'll be a character that has one line who's like a woman walking 3 dogs and is wearing a funny coat, and she's like, should I be that for Halloween?
Like, that'd be a great costume.
Yeah, babe, go for it.
You'll spend all night explaining it.
Exactly.
Like, because she's got a bloody nose, right? That's gory. Halloween. Pretty
really
fun.
Okay, so the Mortician.
Yeah.
We watched the first episode. Yeah, I can totally feel that energy of like not wanting to dig in. It's about death. It's about funerals. It's got this like dark tone to it.
And even just the cover was like, it looks like a period piece. I don't know. Once I turned it on, I was immediately grabbed by the stuff I thought I wouldn't like. Like I thought I would hate all of that vibe, and I was like, this is actually a very well produced documentary. It almost felt like a narrative.
Right.
Thing, and it's shot really beautifully.
You were like, I hate the desecration of corpses, and you were like, actually I
wait
love
a second. How can I get into this in real life?
So to catch up our folks who know nothing about this so far, it's about a funeral home, specifically one person who works at the crematorium of the funeral home, home in Pasadena,
and
he's like the 3rd generation, right? Yeah.
And he married in, right?
He was the son of the daughter of the founder.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's just say that he tries to expand the business a little too fast, maybe?
Just like Krispy Kreme. It was too much too quickly.
Too much too quickly was kind of his fatal flaw here.
Yeah.
Just like Krispy Kreme.
So he brings up this concept of like, when you cremate a person, the mortician literally cannot scrape was unfortunately the word that I was going to use, remove all of the ash of one body before they cremate the next body. And so he was being like, yeah, that's just the situation. That's just how it is. And he took that idea to the absolute extreme.
It was like, because people, you want a box of the remains, they want to know like, oh, this is my dad's ashes, my grandfather's ashes, and not that it's the mixture of whatever. And so he's
just
very
sort
much
of taking
like,
a scoop.
Yeah, he just started going like, hey, if there's a little mixture, let's just throw them all in there, baby.
Yeah, right. Let's stuff this oven to the gills. Pretty messed up.
Typically an industry that's like all about respect and all about like end of life care and whatever. And he's like, what if we just turned it into a cash cow and called it sand? It's all just, who cares? So
it's like you can kind of understand the reasoning on a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, not gonna fucking defend this guy an inch, because it is like a field where that is one of the number one priorities, is that like this whole process is handled with respect and care,
That's why it's expensive.
Yeah, like it was making me think of like if you were the sommelier who was like, actually if you give it to him in this like Gatorade bottle, it's actually better because you can put a cap on it and that'll preserve the flavor of the wine longer. And it's like, no, you don't get it. That's like part of this whole thing is the ceremony and the respect of it. So.
The Psalm's like, well, what is a red blend if not the pouring of all of the red wine?
You can backwash in it. You can do whatever you want.
Into a big vat. Okay, so I just wanted to say, respectfully, I liked this doc, and also I do think that Chimp Crazy and Love Has Won, The Cult of Mother God, were robbed for this to be the most watched doc, and I think that it's... Yeah, you guessed it. It's misogyny and it's the patriarchy once again. I love a doc that's like men quietly speaking to me about a time in the past. I really do. I'm not kidding. But I was like, I mean, in Love Has Won, Mother God is getting downloads from Robin Williams about what she should eat. She's turning bluey silver and she's laughing like you're telling me that this is captivating America more than that? Chimp Crazy, like Tanya looks absolutely unique. I was gonna say insane. unique. She's saying that she loves her chimps more than her own human child.
Right.
That the bond is incomparable.
Right.
And this is just sort of a quiet.
Yeah, she's talking like that. She's saying, "Oh, Tonka, and Tonka, I love Tonka more than I." And you're telling me that like these men being like, "That's when we knew that something was not right," is more captivating to America.
Right.
The trash pit known as America.
Right.
I don't get it.
Maybe there's something going on here where it's just like, you know how box office numbers have to be adjusted due to inflation and stuff like that.
There's nothing on HBO right now except The Mortician. Like, I'm really upset about it. Like, I kind of live a lot of my life based on like, okay, what's on Sunday night? Like, at least I have my Sunday night high quality TV.
Right.
And then when they like go between shows, I'm like, what the fuck is this garbage network? They have nothing. I don't want to watch an old movie. And that's what I think is happening with The Mortician. I was like, I watched it finally because of the podcast, but I was like, maybe I'll watch this just because like they're not giving me some other show.
Yeah.
You know?
It was fresh.
When Ali watches a documentary, he gets really upset when they do this thing in contemporary docs where they have somebody answer a question and then they hold the camera on that person. And it's really interesting because it gives it somehow casts doubt on what they're saying.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts on that? Like,
No, I think you described it perfectly.
Okay.
They just leave a few extra seconds to go like,
It's
I
what,
don't know.
you know what it is too is that it's like the interviewer, you can tell in real life the interviewer may have continued talking to them or even asking the next question, and we don't hear that audio. So here, I can reenact it for camera one.
I'm gonna give you a question.
Yeah,
Okay?
give me a question.
Okay. So what kind of protein bar would you say is your favorite, Ali?
Favorite, probably the one that I have the most is like a Cliff Builders bar, and then what you see from home is this, a Cliff Builders bar.
Literally,
Just making them look so
That's a
guilty.
YouTube joke.
Yeah, and it's like during that fidgety time or whatever, it's probably like the interviewer would be like, "Oh, great, yeah. Do you have any other ones? We
Yeah.
were thinking of whatever." And you're just
hold
kind
on.
of like,
Something wrong with the SD card. Let's adjust, whatever. Yeah, and they're just there. I mean, this man's favorite protein bar is not Cliff.
Yeah.
That is what I am
Yeah.
left thinking.
It's a really smart way to make somebody look shady as fuck.
So in The
Yeah.
Mortician, in episode 1, they did the reverse. I've never seen it before, but it's the same technique. They did it. They did it before they asked Jim. Is his name Jimmy? Johnny.
The football guys?
Yes,
Yeah.
the first guy that they introduced, the former employee, and the first time that they show him to us. They show him for several seconds. It's literally just like him in a chair. You can tell that it's like they were like doing the lighting rig, whatever. He's just sitting there like looking around, and just for several seconds of silence, he looks so squirrely. They did him so dirty.
Yeah.
That is our introduction to this person.
It's true.
It
I'm
was
going to give
crazy.
a word of free advice if you're ever on a documentary. While you are putting on the mic, while you're sitting in the chair, while you're adjusting your collar,
Yes.
they're filming and it's all going to make it into it.
Yes.
So be aware of any of that time, any of the pre-conversations. It's
You know
all
who could have
making
used
it in.
that advice?
Who's that?
Durst.
Oh, yeah, Durst, yeah. And the burping.
And the burping.
Of course I did it.
Killed them all, of course. Well, I just wanted to say prominent funeral home magazine.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. That was a phrase.
Yeah, I was
Mortuary
happy to see them
management.
shout it out. We're all subscribers, I'm
Yeah,
assuming,
prominent.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
This isn't some little dinky funeral home management.
Couple years there where the issues
Publication.
were getting kind of thin in content.
Yeah, but then they got the
I'm-
new editor in chief, and it was like the old.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
The best funeral magazine out there.
Yeah, funeral home magazine.
100%.
Yeah. I do have one more thing from
Yeah,
this.
yeah, go for it.
Okay, if you were approached on your wedding day
Okay.
by 3 people in your fiance's family, and all 3 of them at separate times said to you, "Hey, it's not too late for you to back out."
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah. On the wedding day is so hard.
On the wedding day, 3
Yeah.
people, not in your family.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
In the family you're marrying into.
In his
Yes.
family, yeah.
Wow.
Are you sure you want to marry him?
Yeah, checking in.
I think that I might be like, oh my God, like they hate me. They're trying to like reverse psychology me.
Right.
Yeah, trying to push you out.
Yeah. But I was like, when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, there's stuff that we don't even know about this person, that they haven't told the viewers yet about this person. Because I'm like, that makes sense. I know from all my true crime podcasts that it's like the person who's doing insane shit has been doing it their whole life.
Absolutely.
And so it was like, oh, like I don't even know if his grandparents knew about his crematorium.
That speaks to this other piece, which I was like, one of the scariest parts of all these stories for me is that we're watching this documentary and this person like paid for their crimes because you see the like fatal flaw of their like their hubris or like this sort of whatever it is in them that makes them go like, I can do more and I can get away with this. And the scariest part of that to me is the people out there who are just 20% smarter and don't bite off more than they can chew and
100%.
continue to get away with some nefarious shit just because they don't let their like egomania take hold or whatever.
They're just not quite as weird.
Yes, yeah,
like they're just people who don't read as weird, you know? But yeah, totally.
They're not expanding the operation to like this fucking Costco level of body burning.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, that is what I think that these stories are supposed to make you feel.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And then on a lighter note, the only other thing that I grabbed from this was one quote when they were talking to his ex-wife, who was talking about how busy he was, and she just gives this quote. She's like, he had so many things on the fire all the time, and I really like out loud while watching this was like, yeah, he did. So stupid. It's a recommend for me. I'd watch the second episode at least.
Yeah, I'm hooked.
Yeah, I think it's 3 eps. I can do that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Okay, I am going to follow up with you, Ryan, and see if you actually watched the next
let's
two.
do it.
I think you're going
Let's
to.
do it. I'm gonna.
Okay, cool. Okay, so The Bear is back for its 4th season, and many people have worked in a restaurant, especially, I would say, in the entertainment industry. That's like a classic day job to have. But even if you haven't, we can kind of all relate to the stakes of a job like that. So,
STEAK.
You want to say that again? And
relate
say
to
it
the
proudly.
state. Do you mean relate to the stakes as in STEA? I'm sorry.
I like it.
No, yeah, we liked the punch up of the voice.
It was worth the time taken.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read some quotes from celebrities who have worked in restaurants about the experience.
Great.
I loved working at Wendy's. I couldn't wait to work and make my own money. I think everybody should work in restaurants. It should be a national rule. Eva Longoria.
Ooh.
I kind of like that idea.
I do too.
I like the idea of everyone being required to work in a service position.
Yeah.
It is like a necessary part of growth, and I think it builds a lot of empathy
Yes.
for when you get to a point later in life and you can remember that everyone's human and how it feels to have everyday jobs.
Yeah.
Food service especially. Everybody's eating 3 times a day. If you've never been on the other side, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy, I think.
Hooters was a great job out of high school, and I was a hostess at first, and then I waited tables for a while, and it was great. It was a great way to earn money for college. Any guesses as to who said that? No, it's not Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That's what I was going to say, Farley, but yeah, probably not him.
Sir Ian McKellen.
No. Final answer?
Who is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
You
I feel
you'll be
like
surprised.
risky even making a guess.
Of course. No, of course.
yeah.
This is a trap. To be clear, this is a trap.
thank
It's
you.
Amy Adams.
Oh, that is surprising.
It is surprising. And I
Yeah.
also am interested in her saying it's a great way to earn money for college. I'm like,
Feminist take, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a feminist take.
For her to take her own power back about the thing. Maybe it's like a business run by men. That's
Yeah,
not good
maybe
enough.
she's like, listen, the tips are incomparable to other...
Supporting her fellow servers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Hooters surviving, by the way? Last I read, they were filing for bankruptcy or something. I say last I read as if I've been keeping up on the
You've got that
top.
Google alert set.
Yeah, last I read.
Yeah, last I read in the restaurant every night for dinner.
in the Hooter trades.
I think that we were in Azusa or something, and there was I saw it was like coming soon, and it was called something like
they have an offshoot that's like Hooters Just the Wings or something
like
that.
Yeah.
Titless
Hooters, that's what you called it. Yeah, it's like Hooters
Yabo free wings
minus the waitresses essentially.
Right.
But, yeah. Hooters Express.
Yeah, no breasts, just wings.
Right.
Okay.
Just called owls.
Okay. I worked at a Bubba Gump Shrimp in Hawaii while I was living out of a van. I tried to stay open to opportunity and got my first break when I was serving Ray Dong Chong.
This one's Chris Farley, living out of a van.
I think you're right.
You're actually not. I mean, in terms of like people, you're far away, but in terms of name, you're actually kind of close.
Okay.
You're actually kind of close.
Dame Judi Dench.
Very close.
I want to change my guess. Jason Momoa.
Okay.
That's a good guess.
That I would say is much closer to the person who said this.
Okay.
But again,
Then
the
Dame
name
Judi
is a
Dench.
hint. Yeah,
Who is it?
Dame Judi Dench. Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a question. Who is Ray Dong Chong? Flying in producer
Tommy
stern.
Chong's daughter, Tommy Chong of Cheech and Chong.
Yes.
And she was an actress. At a period of time she was known. And Chris Farley, the character that's lived in a van down by the river, is based on a real person that Chris Farley was exposed to, I guess, in school, but it's not Chris Farley himself.
Yes.
Well, I wonder what Ray Dong Chong did for Chris Pratt to get him his big break.
Yeah.
Like what, you know? Okay. I scraped shrimp at Red Lobster. We're doing a shrimp theme right now. And was kept in the back because of my teeth. Never got a raise or a promotion. This is a stand-up comedian.
Huh.
And I think he's got great teeth. I don't know
Interesting.
if anything has changed there for him.
Theo Vaughn.
No, it's more. He's more classic than that. He predates. He predates Theo Vaughn.
David Spade.
No,
Dave Attell.
no, it's Chris Rock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Rock was scraping shrimp at a Red Lobster.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Never got a raise or a promotion.
Oh.
Too
Dang.
bad. Kept in the back because of my teeth. Okay. This is great because we went from bubblegum shrimp to scraping shrimp at Red Lobster. Now we're going to different Red Lobster.
Okay.
I worked at Red Lobster and got fired multiple times. One time for kicking a couple out of the restaurant for not tipping me. Now, this person is...
Sounds like a she.
Nope.
I heard this.
Nope.
Hey.
A rapstress, I'll say.
A rapstress.
Yeah.
Rapstress.
And I will say...
Queen Latifah.
No, I'll
Nicki
say...
Minaj.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The only rapper who can.
It's so funny to think of
wear-
celebrities working in a Red Lobster or
Yeah.
doing something, you know, where they have to wear like an all-white uniform. Like I used to work in the
Totally.
Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
No, you didn't.
And someday when
That's
anybody
cool.
cares about me, they're going to be like, he worked at a Cheesecake Factory? Or that's how I feel
You're gonna
already.
be on this list one day.
I know. I hope
What
so.
was your, like... Tell me about that. Like, what was the thing that everyone ordered? What was like the worst thing for somebody to order? Like, what was the best part about
It's
it?
the messiest restaurant you could work at, and you have to wear an all-white uniform. So you're constantly wearing like a dirty that is supposed to be clean uniform, and it's all like people that are just out of college. So no one's doing a good job on their laundry type stuff.
Yeah,
So
Why
it's
is it
like
the messiest restaurant?
they just have everything. They have like Thai food and Italian
about
food
that.
and Mexican
Yeah.
and whatever, and so it's just like there's just a million sauces flying around everywhere.
Got
So
it.
I guess every restaurant's messy, but
Yeah.
Big dishes.
Yeah.
A lot of slop.
Yeah, a lot of sloppy.
Yeah.
'Cause
a
that's
lot
the
of
thing is
families and kids scooping.
yes,
And,
it looks like it's a little nicer, but it's just like a coffee shop for people that have a little more money, I think. You know,
Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah.
yeah.
100%. I
Yeah.
mean, the menu is crazy.
It's a book.
Yeah.
There's advertisements in the menu because it's so big. To
Yeah.
pay for printing the menus,
Yeah,
they
you
have to be like Carnival Cruises, pay for this.
You can rent out ad spaces in the fucking
Yeah,
menu.
it's
I love
crazy.
it.
They'll also just give you a menu to take home. They're like, oh yeah, you want a menu? Take it. Like other people print these for us. They're fine. So
Wow.
you can just take one and they don't care.
And what do you do with it once
That
you get
is the
home?
question: is why would you need
Yeah, why
that
would
at
you
home?
want
But
it?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. The timeline of this is interesting to me because if she didn't get tipped, they've already paid. So she's
Right.
kicking them out, but they've already ended their
They're on their way.
Yeah.
She's just following them out,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah, they were just trying to hang out after
Yeah.
having paid the check, but
Yeah. And I am on her side.
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
yeah, get him out of here.
If you
That's so
guys
true
want a
about lobsters.
recommendation of what to watch on YouTube, there's a short film called Great Choice about it's kind of a surreal Red Lobster experience that a woman is having, played by Carrie Coon. It's a short film. Highly recommend it.
Ooh, good rec.
Cool.
Thank
Good
you,
rec.
John. I wasn't a good waitress, but I was told that I was very nice and charming, so people liked me anyway. Now, if she was so likable, it seems like she would have had a lot of friends.
Okay, that narrows it down.
Okay.
That narrows it down.
Interesting.
I'm going to guess Phoebe.
I'm gonna go Monica.
You're both wrong.
Oh, Rachel.
It was right
freaking
there.
Rachel,
It was freaking
Jennifer
Smelly Cat.
Aniston.
Dang.
Wow, that's cool. That's crazy.
Wasn't Smelly
No,
Cat.
Rachel
I
is
know.
Smelly Cat in the show.
Rachel is.
She's
I was
singing
making a
about
joke
Rachel.
that like we were both wrong. It wasn't Rachel either. It was Smelly Cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was told I was very nice and charming, and so people like me anyway. Yeah, totally. I mean, that'll get you by. That'll get you, so far in life. If you're bad at your job but nice and charming, you can just kind of
Yeah.
fail upwards.
Yeah.
It just matters if people like you. It really does.
Yeah. Well, what's that adage about being on set as an actor? It's like you can be. It's like be on time, know your lines, and be kind, and you have to do 2 of the 3.
Fun.
That's
Yeah.
good advice.
Do you think it's fun?
What happens if you do 1?
That's not enough.
That's not enough.
Mathematically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not enough.
When you said Smelly Cat, it hit such a strong point. Like, how many people, when you just say the word Smelly Cat, would know what you're talking about? Like in America, half the people at least.
Yeah.
Huge cultural moment for just a silly song called Smelly Cat.
Okay, well, you guys did great.
Thank you, Smelly
Thank you
Cat.
so much.
You're
Smelly Cat. All right. What are we looking forward to watching? What's coming down the pipe? What do we want to make sure to hit soon?
So this is hot off the presses.
Okay.
Literally, as I was sitting down in this very chair, I saw an email come into my inbox. Deadline, breaking news alert. The Comeback revived by HBO for 3rd and final season.
Whoa.
Are you familiar with The Comeback? Because Ryan clearly is, and you
I haven't watched
are
it.
clearly pretending. Yeah.
I'm being positive and enthusiastic, which is pretending.
It's it's the Lisa Kudrow show. Okay,
yeah.
so you know what it is.
I know what it is.
Yeah. I would say that the most famous line from seasons 1 and 2 is
I don't have to see that.
"Thank you,
Or something like that.
Ryan, a true fan.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah, really good.
Ryan's first guess in the restaurant game was Phoebe.
That's
So
right, yeah.
He's a Kudrow head.
That's right. I'm a Phoebe head, but I'll watch Kudrow stuff too.
Kudrow stuff
Yeah.
too.
I'm
She's
really
so
excited
brilliant.
for
That show is so
Yeah,
brilliant.
She's so funny.
And it's like the best acting in the world. She's
Yeah.
so good, so vulnerable, so funny.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
I'm really excited about it. It's the 20-year anniversary of its launch earlier
What?
this month. Yeah.
I thought it was like 8 years old.
More than a decade after the show's season 2 revival. That's right, because there was between the first and second season, wasn't there like a big
break?
here's the only hint about timeline. Quote, chatter about a mini room for the project this spring. That is absolutely no information.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you guys excited about?
I was gonna Squid Game season 3 just came out very, very recently. If you're listening to this, it is out. And I watched season 1. I enjoyed season 1, and I think it's 90% because I am a fan of the genre that this Japanese movie Battle Royale created, which is, if you haven't seen Battle Royale, I would recommend it before we get too far away from the source material for a lot of this stuff. It's a great movie. It's about, if I can summarize extremely quickly, in the future of Japan, the society has crumbled so much that they've created this program where once a year they pick one school of delinquent youths, put them on an island, force them to play this most dangerous game with each other where they all have to kill each other. And it is like so highly influential. It's informed so much of it. I mean, you wouldn't have Hunger Games without Battle Royale. You wouldn't have Squid Games without Battle Royale. Tarantino,
you wouldn't have Real Housewives without Battle Royale.
Real Housewives. Tarantino's listed it as like a big influence for a lot of his stuff. He hired one of the main actresses in Kill Bill. I forget her name, but she plays Gogo Yubari, who has she's like the Japanese schoolgirl little girl with like the big ball and chain
Yeah.
thing. She's like a main character in Battle Royale.
Cool.
So I love those. I'm a fan. I think like earlier I was very much like they're just copying Battle Royale, and now I'm very much like
it's a genre.
it's a genre that has spawned and been carried forward and that kind of thing. So I'm excited to see. I have to catch up on season 2 of Squid Games before I watch this next one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
excited for that though.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ryan Rosenberg, you got
The
anything?
Bear. I'm excited for The Bear. The Bear is back.
The Bear is back.
That show is such a cool, artistic yet comedy yet drama. It's like a weird mix of shows, kind
Cool.
of, which I kind of am interested in.
Do you have a favorite season so far?
I usually like the first season of most shows, just
Yeah.
because like here's what we tried to set out to do, and
Yeah.
it's like the real essence. But I think the first season is great. The second season's really good too. Second season got like really way more artistic, I feel like.
The first
which
season
was
of a
also
TV
good,
show
but-
is like turning over a stone and saying, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know there was anything here, and there's actually this beautiful stone." And
Yes.
then like subsequent seasons are like, I have
We should make more of
4."
this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for.
You turn over the stone, and there's a beautiful
Stone underneath the stone. Yeah. John, thank you, John, for producing this metaphor. I did, as I was saying it, I understood that it's like there's supposed to be something under the stone, like a gorgeous
Usually it's
worm or
bugs,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're
a
right.
gorgeous worm.
But hold on a second.
Single gorgeous worm.
Hold on.
It is true.
In real life, when you pick up a stone, it is bugs. But isn't it supposed to be like, isn't that left no stone unturned? That's just like searching.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know.
You're thinking about sort of like finding treasure underneath a rock,
I
and there
guess
being a
so.
saying around that.
Yeah.
You guys ever heard of stone soup?
Yes.
That's a book, right, or a story?
Don't try to feed me that again.
Okay.
You've tricked me into making.
I swear
so
I'm a
many
good cook.
stews.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying you like stones.
No,
can
that's
make
how
it-
I lost
can
my
make
carrots.
A mean
That's
stone
how I lost
soup.
my carrots. That's how I lost my chicken bones.
Did you
okay?
trade stone for carrot?
Well, stone soup is where he invited me. He invited me over to
I
have
see.
stone soup at his house, and I said, "What's that? How do you make soup out of a stone?" And he said, "Just bring over. What do you got? Some carrots?" I said, "Yeah, I have my carrots that I've been saving." And he said, "No, just bring them over."
I had the most important ingredient, which is stone.
The stone, yeah. So I gave him my carrots, I gave him my chicken bones, and then other
We
people.
should
good idea
spoil,
for a show.
Yeah, I was going to say we should also recommend season 19 of Stone Soup.
There's been
Yeah.
chatter about a mini room about the concept for stone soup that's happening this season. It's a competitive situation between
Yeah.
studios.
you still own the IP to that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great.
I have a recommendation or a thing I'm not excited about because I've already seen it, but I just remembered that I want to go back and watch it. Have you guys seen the show Flowers?
No, I don't think
It's a
I've heard of
British
it.
show, and I think it's only like 6 episodes. Maybe there's 2 seasons, but it's really funny and really brilliant, and you got to check it out.
I'm gonna.
Cool.
Do you know any? I mean, should we leave it?
I don't
there,
know
or
enough
you-
details about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know any of the people's names who do it, but you would recognize them all.
Awesome.
It's like a small British show that then all those people have gone on and become famous. One of them was in, what's the show where they go on vacation on HBO?
White Lotus.
Yeah, one of them's in
yeah.
White Lotus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great.
We were briefly speaking off camera about Lena Dunham's new show, Too Much, which is, I think, a rom-com that's set in London, and it stars Meg Stalter, which is, she's
So
a comedy.
funny. Her stuff is always really interesting because I feel like Lena Dunham writes a lot of characters that are intentionally kind of sort of off-putting or like challenging to the audience.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get confused and go like, I don't like the show because I don't like the character.
Yeah.
But the
Sure,
whole
yeah.
point is that the character is not likable.
It's supposed to provoke feelings in you.
Yeah. So like I've gone back and rewatched Girls again and like have a totally different, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the show is almost
Yeah.
needling you as the viewer to be like, oh, these people are insufferable.
Yeah.
But I accidentally went like, oh, Lena Dunham is like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's
totally.
like, no,
Sure.
she's being a very smart writer and creator and then playing something that I don't like.
Yeah.
I assume she's not exactly that person as well.